Hello everyone, hope you all are keeping well. So I think you remember what we did in the first part of this chapter. Madame Loisel, she had great ambitions, desires. She felt that she was born by mistake in a family of clerks, but she actually had to enjoy the delicacies and luxuries of life. And then her caring husband, loving husband, got an invitation to a party at the residence of the minister, but she was not happy. She didn't have a pretty dress. He gave her money for the pretty dress. Then again she was unhappy because she didn't have jewelry to wear with the dress. Finally, she borrows from Madame Forestier, a friend. She goes to the party. She is very successful there. Everyone liked her. Everyone wanted to meet her, wanted to be with her. She was very happy. She came home, and when she had a last look at herself in the mirror, she saw that the necklace was missing. The diamond necklace shocked both husband and wife. The poor man, he went out searching, didn't find anything. Now let's move ahead and let's see what happens after this. He said, "Write to your friend that you have broken the clasp of the necklace and that you will have it repaired. That will give us time." So now there was no time how to decide what is to be done. Lost a diamond necklace, how costly it might be. From where they are going to repay it, from where they are going to replace it. So husband said, you write to your friend, say that the hook, the clasp that is broken, and that way we'll get some time to think and arrange. Let's see. She wrote as he dictated, that is whatever he said, she wrote. At the end of a week, they had lost all hope, and Loisel, older by 5 years, declared, we must replace this jewel. They were hoping that someone would come saying that I found it, because Mr. Loisel had put an advertisement in the newspaper saying that anyone who finds would get a reward. Nothing happened. No news. So finally, after a week, they understood that now they are not going to get back that necklace, and Mr. Loisel, who was elder to Madame Loisel, he said, okay, nothing can be done now. We have to replace the necklace. In a shop of the Palais Royal, it is Palais Royal, Palace Royal is written, pronunciation is Palais Royal. They found a chaplet of diamonds which seemed to them exactly like the one they had lost. So they went around searching for a similar necklace, and in one of the shops they found that, looked exactly like that. Alright, a chaplet means a round necklace. It was valued at 40,000 francs. That was the MRP, the cost, 40,000 francs. Francs is the currency of France, okay. They could get it for 36,000. But they had a talk there, and the owner of the shop said they can have it for 36,000 francs. Loisel possessed 18,000 francs which his father had left him. So he had got in his inheritance, got from his father some money, 18,000 francs, he had that. He borrowed the rest. He made ruinous promises. He had to borrow. From where to arrange the remaining 18,000? He had to pay 36,000. He made ruinous promises. Ruinous means the promises which may cause destruction, may cause suffering. That type of promises he had to make to borrow money. Took money from usherers and the whole race of lenders. From all money lending type of people who give money, he took money from everywhere. Then he went to get the new necklace, depositing on the merchant's counter 36,000 francs. So finally, he arranged 36,000 francs, gave that to the shopkeeper, and got the necklace. When Madame Loisel took back the jewels to Madame Forestier, the latter said to her in a rigid tone. Rigid means she was rude, because she had not returned it on time. She took a long time to return it. You should have returned them to me sooner, for I might have needed them. Madame Forestier said, you should have returned a little sooner. I might have needed. You take something from someone and after that what happened? Carefully you have to return it immediately after your work is over. Madame Forestier did not open the jewel box as Madame Loisel feared she would. See, she trusted Madame Loisel. She did not even open and see if she had brought the necklace or not, or is she giving me an empty box. She didn't do that. Madame Loisel was thinking she might do that. What would she think if she should perceive to the substitution? And she thought, suppose she opens the box and she sees that this is not the necklace which I gave. If she understands, she recognizes, then what will she do? What will she think of me? This was going on in the mind of Madame Loisel. What should she say? Would she take her for a robber? She was thinking all this. Would Madame Loisel think that I am a robber? I had replaced her beautiful necklace with another one. All these thoughts were in her mind. Nothing happened. Madame Loisel now knew the horrible life of necessity. Now she understood after this, after handing over the necklace. Alright, then she understood what life is, the reality of life, the necessity when you want, when you don't have things, how you have to live. Now she understood that. She did her part, however, completely, heroically. Now she had to labor with her husband. They had borrowed the money, such a big amount. They have to repay all that. So she did her part. On her part, whatever she had to do, she did it heroically, courageously she did it. It was necessary to pay this frightful debt, the money that they have borrowed, the loan that they had taken, they had to repay all that, and it was very frightening. So much money, how to repay? She would pay it, but decided, we are going to pay. She decided, I am going to pay it. I'll do anything to pay it. They sent away the maid. They changed their lodgings. They rented some rooms in an attic. So, servant, maid was sent away, changed their house, went to another one where they have to pay less rent. Alright, in an attic, in a building where there are small rooms. They rented the rooms there now. She learned the odious work of a kitchen. She did not like kitchen work and all. It was a odious work, unpleasant work. But now she learned to do that. Because she had sent away the maid. She has to do it. She has to save money. She washed the dishes. She washed the soiled linen, soiled dirty bed sheets and all she washed. Their clothes and dish clothes. All that she washed. Which she hung on the line to dry. Washing. A normal house, how we all do it, like that. She did all this. Alright, washing of clothes and hanging it up to dry. All that she did. She took down the refuse to the street each morning and brought up water. She went to throw the garbage every morning. She went to fill water and bring it to her room, stopping at each landing to catch her breath. Very tiring. She had to go down the stairs, climb up. She would stop on the stairs. She had to breathe. She was very tired, but she didn't say, no, I can't do all this. She had to do that. They have to repay. And all this is because of her only. And clothed like a woman of the people, that is like a common woman. She dressed up. She went to the grocers, alright, to take the cereals and grains and pulses, the butchers for meat, the fruiters to get fruit, with a basket on her arm, shopping, haggling. Haggling means bargaining to the last sou of her miserable money. So is the smallest amount of money in France. Okay, so she would bargain with all these people to save whatever she could save. That miserable, that little money that she had, she wanted to save that also. The husband worked evenings, putting the books on some merchants in order. So in evening he worked some other place. Morning he had the job of the clerk. In the evening he went to some merchant, some businessman he would do there, arranging the books and all. That work was there, maintaining the accounts. And nights he often did copying at 5 sols a page. Copying work he used to do. Per page he would get 5 sols. In this way they started making money. And this life lasted for 10 years. To repay the money, it took them 10 years. At the end of 10 years, they had restored all. Repaid everything. All the loan was over. At the end of 10 years. 10 years they had to labor, they had to work hard. Without thinking of any comfort. The only thought they had was to repay the money which they had borrowed. Finally, it was over. Madame Loisel seemed old now. You can imagine the type of work she was doing, all right, morning to evening, and all the tensions that she was having. Because of that, she seemed older than her age. She had become a strong, hard woman, the crude woman of the poor household, the rough and tough lady she became now. She was very elegant, very delicate, but now she became a rough and tough lady. Her hair badly dressed, her skirts awry, her hands red. She spoke in loud tone. Alright, she didn't care about how her hair was going, didn't comb it properly, skirt would be lying here and there, not wearing it properly. Whatever happened, she didn't look at all these things, she didn't have time for all these things. Alright, after working, her hands were red and her voice had become loud. Earlier she used to speak softly. Now loud voice, bargaining with everyone and all that. So changed. She became a rough and tough woman of a middle class family, of a poor family. She washed the floors with large pails of water. Washing the floors with water, bringing water from down in buckets. But sometimes when her husband was at the office, she would seat herself before the window and think of that evening party of former times, of that ball where she was so beautiful and so flattered. But sometimes, among all these worries and work, whenever she got some time, she would sit and she would go into flashback. Again, she would think of that party where she was admired by everyone. Everyone praised her. She would sit and think about that. She had not forgotten all that. How would it have been if she had not lost the necklace? She would start thinking, suppose I didn't lose that necklace, what would have happened? Who knows? How singular is life? Life is extraordinary. Anything can happen. And how full of changes. Changes take place every second in the life. In a second, things can change. She understood this now. How small a thing will ruin or save one. A small thing can ruin your life, it can save you also. Now she is understanding the reality of life. Till now she was, that is, till the party, she was in a dream world. She was unhappy. She was not happy with her life, not satisfied with her life. She felt that she was not meant for this life. She was meant for the luxuries and delicacies of life. But now she understood the reality of life. One Sunday, as she was taking a walk in the Champs-Élysées, that is the pronunciation, to rid herself of the cares of the week, she suddenly perceived a woman walking with a child. So she had gone to a place to relax herself. Alright, from all her worries, all through the week she had been very busy, so she had gone there to relax, and suddenly she noticed a woman who was walking with a child. It was Madame Forestier, still young, still pretty, still attractive. Alright, still the same Madame Forestier. Still looking young, pretty, attractive. And what had happened to Loisel? Madame Loisel? She has become a rough and tough woman. Older than her age she was looking. Hair not combed properly. Dress not worn properly. Madame Loisel was affected. Suddenly she had an emotional feeling. Should she speak to her? She was confused. Should I go and speak to her? Yes, certainly. And now that she had paid, she would tell her all. Why not? She said, now why to worry? Why to be afraid of anything? Now I am going to speak to her. And now everything is over. Now I am going to tell her what had happened. She approached her. She went nearer to Madame Forestier. Good morning, Jean. Jean is also the pronunciation. Jean is also there. Jane is also there. Alright, so many pronunciation for this word. Her friend did not recognize her and was astonished to see so familiarly addressed by this common person. Some common person is calling her by her name, and she didn't recognize that this is Madame Loisel. She couldn't make out. So she was thinking, who is this lady calling me by my name? She stammered, but Madame, I do not know. You must be mistaken. She said, Madam, I don't know you. You must be mistaken. No, I am Matilda Loisel. She said, no, I am Matilda Loisel. Her friend uttered a cry of astonishment. Her friend was surprised. This is Madame Loisel, Matilda Loisel. Oh, my poor Matilda, how you have changed. And she said, oh, my dear, what had happened to you? How you have changed? What has happened? Yes, I have had some hard days since I saw you. Since I saw you means since I met you last. I had hard days, difficult time, and some miserable ones, and all because of you. Very difficult, very sad time, very troublesome period I had to pass through, and all because of you. She is telling this to Madame Forestier, and she doesn't know. She must be thinking, what have I done? Because of me? How is that? She said, because of me? How is it possible? You recall the diamond necklace that you loaned me to wear to the minister's ball. So now, Madame Loisel asked her, do you remember that diamond necklace which you had given to me to wear for the party? Yes, very well. Well, I lost it. Now she is telling the truth. She said, I lost it. How is that? Since you returned it to me. Madame Forestier said, how is that possible? You returned that necklace to me. I returned another to you exactly like it. And it has taken us 10 years to pay for it. She said, no, I had returned, but I had returned another necklace which was exactly like yours. And to repay the money we had borrowed to get this necklace, we have had to labor for 10 years. You can understand that it was not easy for us to have nothing. She tells Madame Forestier, you can understand, we don't have much money, so it was not easy for us to have or to buy such a necklace, such an expensive necklace. But it is finished and I am decently content. She says, it is finished and I am happy now. Now she is happy. From the beginning she was unhappy. Isn't it? Madame Forestier stopped short. She said, you say that you bought a diamond necklace to replace mine? Madame Forestier, she stopped. She said, what? She was shocked. You are telling me that you replaced my necklace with a diamond necklace? Yes, you did not perceive it then. She said, yes, that time you didn't recognize it. They were just alike, similar. And she smiled with proud and simple joy, and she was very happy. You see, we have replaced exactly the same. If I lost your thing, I replaced it. She was very happy. So there was a simple joy on her face. Madame Forestier was touched and took both her hands as she replied, but Madame Forestier, She became very emotional. She was shocked. She took Matilda's hands in her hands and said, and let's see what she said. Oh, my poor Matilda, mine were false, fake. That necklace was not made of real diamonds. It was made of fake diamonds. They were not worth over 500 francs. That necklace didn't cost more than 500 francs. And they replaced it with a necklace costing 36,000 francs. You can imagine what a shock now Matilda got hearing this. Had she been truthful, had she been honest, had she the courage to tell Madame Forestier that I lost your necklace, she would have come to know that the necklace was fake. Then they would not have had to spend so much money. It would have been easy for them to replace that fake necklace. So this is life. That is why we have to be happy, contented with our life. Whatever life is giving us, be happy with that. Be satisfied and grateful for what you have got. Don't keep on thriving for what others have and you don't have. Don't make yourself unhappy thinking about that. And just to show off in front of others, don't do such type of things that Madame Loisel had done. Life changed suddenly for her. Everything changed. Had she been honest, she could have gone and told her friend, and things would have not been like this. So, we have to learn this, that we should be contented with what we have. You desire many things, you can work hard, achieve them. But don't become unhappy thinking that others are having and I don't have. Alright, be happy that you have this. Many don't have this also what you are having. That is what we learn from this chapter. Now we'll do the question answers. Some questions are written here as in this read and find out. So we'll do that first and after that we'll do think about it. And you'll be writing all these answers in your copy. Question 1. What kind of a person is Madame Loisel? Why is she always unhappy? Madame Loisel was a young and pretty woman born in a poor family. She felt that she was born to enjoy all the delicacies and luxuries of life. Instead, she had to lead a simple and economical life. She was aware that her dreams could never be fulfilled. She knew that her meager resources weren't enough to satisfy her expensive desires. All this made her angry on her condition, and as such, she was always unhappy. Question 2. What kind of a person is her husband? Answer. Her husband was a simple and kind-hearted man. He was a loving and caring husband. He wanted his wife to be happy, and so he gave 400 francs to her to buy a pretty dress for the ball. Question 3. What fresh problem now disturbs Madame Loisel? Answer. The fresh problem that disturbed Madame Loisel was that she didn't have any jewelry to wear at the party. She felt that it would be humiliating to have a shabby appearance in the midst of rich women. Question 4. How is the problem solved? Answer. Madame Loisel's husband advised her to request her friend Madame Forestier to lend her some jewels. Accordingly, she went to Madame Forestier and borrowed a diamond necklace for the occasion. Thus, her husband's timely suggestion solved the problem. Question 5. What do Mr. and Madame Loisel do next? Answer. When the Loisels realized that the necklace was missing, they left no stone unturned to locate the lost jewel. Mr. Loisel went back to the streets through which they had returned home in search of the necklace. When he couldn't find anything, he went to the police and cab offices. He also put up an advertisement in the newspapers offering a reward to anyone who found the necklace. Thereafter, he asked his wife to write a letter to her friend Madame Forestier stating that the clasp of the necklace had broken and she would return it once repaired. Eventually, they had to buy a new diamond necklace to replace the lost one. Question 6. How do they replace the necklace? Answer. After all their efforts went in vain, the Loisels decided to buy a fresh, new, identical necklace to replace the lost necklace. Mr. Loisel possessed 18,000 francs of his inheritance and borrowed the rest of the money from usurers and the whole race of lenders by making ruinous promises. When they borrowed enough money, the couple went to the merchant and bought a new necklace for 36,000 francs and returned it to Madame Forestier. Question 1. The course of the Loisel's life changed due to the necklace. Comment. Answer. The necklace that Matilda borrowed from Madame Forestier changed the life of the Loisels. Matilda borrowed the necklace as she did not want to be humiliated by her poverty-stricken look at the ball. She lost the necklace. The Loisels replaced the lost necklace by buying a similar diamond necklace for 36,000 francs. It took them a decade to pay back the money they had borrowed to buy the necklace, and it changed everything for them. They had to move to the poorest quarters of the city. With no maids or assistants, Matilda had to cook, clean, mend, sew, bargain with the grocer and butcher to save every sou just for mere survival. Her husband had to work in the evening and night to pay their debt. In this way, the course of the Loisel's life changed due to the necklace. Question 2. What was the cause of Matilda's ruin? How could she have avoided it? Answer. Matilda's pride, materialistic aspirations, dissatisfaction, and her dishonesty caused her ruin. She was always unhappy about her financial status. Though born in a family of clerks, she felt that she was meant for a life of luxuries and delicacies. The loss of her friend's necklace became the visible cause of her ruin. She could have avoided her ruin by telling Madame Forestier about the necklace. Then she would have definitely come to know that the necklace was fake. She could have avoided all the problems by accepting her current situation and being content with what she had. Question 3. What would have happened to Matilda if she had confessed to her friend that she had lost her necklace? Answer. If Matilda had been courageous enough to confess to her friend the truth of the necklace, she would have come to know that it was a fake one that cost a mere 500 francs. In that way, she would have saved herself and her husband from 10 long years of crushing poverty, misery, and back-breaking labor. Truth and honesty would have saved Matilda from her doom. Question 4. If you were caught in a situation like this, how would you have dealt with it? Answer. First of all, I would have done my best not to become a victim of my own pride and aspirations. If I was caught in such a situation, I would have been courageous enough to let the truth out and then face the. I hope you have understood the chapter. Still, you have any doubt regarding this chapter in the doubt class, you can come up with your doubts. I'll be there to answer you. Alright. Don't forget to do the work in your copy. So, we'll end for today here. Take care.